Ponzi, insider trading, and market manipulations are over.
Crackdown on financial fraud. Nigeria enforces 10-year minimum jail term for promoters of Ponzi schemes. INEC strikes down recall bid against Senator Apoti Uduaghan, cites constitutional violation of voter signatures threshold.
So what we are doing now is to restore the bridge temporarily within the next 3 days.
Federal government pledges swift repair of Independence Bridge to restore Lagos mobility. Welcome to NTA Network News. I am Jummai Yusuf. Hingono John Adams joins me tonight from Lagos, while Benny Adams is on hand for the business news. We'll also be joining Francisca Bele much later tonight on some of the news in the world of sports. Remember, you can watch this newscast on any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. Meanwhile, tonight, we want to hear your thoughts on how best to engender improved and increased voting in elections here in Nigeria. The question is, should voting be a personal choice, a civic expectation, or a legal requirement? Share your opinion in our quick poll and join the conversation on how best to ensure that Nigerians do participate in elections. Simply scan the QR code, soon to be displayed on the screen, and join our survey. Now, the news in details. More headaches for fraudsters and perpetrators of financial crimes in Nigeria, who now face a minimum of 10-year jail term and 20 million naira fine if found guilty of promoting Ponzi schemes in Nigeria. Now, this follows the signing by President Tinubu of the Investment and Securities Bill 2024. Other highlights of the law, as explained by the Chairman, Senate Committee on Capital Market, Senator Osita Zunaso, include the recognition of cryptocurrency as a form of security in Nigeria. This will enable Nigerians trade in digital assets under the regulation of the Securities and Exchange Commission to ensure transparency and protect investors.
Ponzi, insider trading, and market manipulations are over. Today, if you are caught in a Ponzi market arrangement, you have a risk of going to jail for 10 years and also pay a fine of over 20 million naira to 40 million naira. And all the money that you took from people will also be recovered from you. It is an economic sabotage not only for the country, but also for the people involved.
The committee chairman says the new investment and securities law is a game changer, as it would strengthen the capital and money market to enable Nigeria achieve the $1 trillion economy and position Nigeria as the investment destination in Africa. The act also requires all public companies to obtain approval from SEC before mergers, acquisitions, or issuing securities to promote transparency and ensure compliance with best global practices. And Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in Dakar, Senegal, to represent President Tinubu at the country's 65th Independence Day anniversary celebration. The Vice President's attendance at the annual event is in honor of an invitation extended to President Tinubu by the Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, following the strong mutual relations between Nigeria and Senegal. The Independence Day celebration will be held at the Place de la Nation in Dakar, with President Faye playing host to Vice President Shettima and other distinguished guests from across Africa and beyond. The Vice President is expected to return to Nigeria after the one-day event. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has expressed concern on several complaints about airlines selling tickets to passengers only to airlift them halfway to their destinations and deport them back to Nigeria. These actions, which involve the refusal of boarding and entry at intermediate and transit stops to some Nigerians due to visa and travel restrictions, are causing significant distress to passengers and tarnishing the reputation of the aviation industry in Nigeria. In a statement, the Director of Consumer Protection and Public Affairs of the authority, Michael Achimogu, says, in line with the provisions of Nigeria's civil aviation regulations, all airlines and their agents shall ensure that passengers are informed of any potential admissibility issues or travel restrictions in advance of their departure. He also said airlines must take appropriate measures to screen and provide passengers with accurate, up-to-date information regarding their travel documents and visa requirements before issuing a ticket and proceeding to board them. In light of this, the NCAA informs all international airlines operating in Nigeria that the authority will no longer tolerate these occurrences. The statement further stated that effective immediately, any airline found to engage in such practices will be subject to regulatory action, including, but not limited, to fines, suspensions, or flight operations or other measures deemed appropriate. The NCAA expects the cooperation of all airlines in maintaining the integrity and professionalism of the aviation industry, as well as ensuring the well-being of Nigerian passengers. Now to electoral matters. INEC has concluded the verification of signatures on the petition to recall Senator Natasha representing Kogi Central Senatorial District. The Commission notes the total number of registered voters in the senatorial district is 474,554 across the 902 polling units in 57 registration areas and 5 local government areas that make up the senatorial district. The Commission ascertained 132,132 signatures and thumbprints from the submission made by the petitioners. This translates to 43.86% of the registered voters, which falls short of the constitutional requirement by 29.146 signatures. This shows the petition has not met the requirement of Section 69, subsection A of the Constitution. Statement by INEC National Commissioner for Information, Sam Olimeko, therefore says no further action shall be taken on the recall of the senator. Now let's cross over to Jonathan Omajali in Lokoja, Kogi State, who has a breakdown of how INEC's verification, which confirmed that the signatures in the recall bill fell short of the constitutionally mandated 50% threshold of registered voters in the district. Let's hear from you, Jonathan. What's the update?
Yes, a very good evening. Kogi Central covers 5 local government areas. We have Adavi local government area with 114,663 registered voters and 32,671 petitioners. In Ajaokuta local government area, we have 96,504 registered voters and 45,808 petitioners. In Ogori Magongo local government area, we have 17,688 registered voters and 9,369 petitioners. In Okehi local government area, we have 94,456 registered voters and 37,064 petitioners. In Okene local government area, we have 151,243 registered voters and 83,220 petitioners. We have a total of 474,554 registered voters and 208,132 petitioners. That gives us a percentage of 43.86, which doesn't meet the the minimum constitutional requirement of 50 plus 1.
Okay, thank you so much, Jonathan, for that update. Thank you. We now move on. The office of the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has reiterated that he remains focused on the task of providing purposeful leadership in the Senate to strengthen democratic institutions, especially the independence of the judiciary. Reacting to recent claims by Senator Elisha Abo, who represented Adamawa North, that the President of the Senate was responsible for his ouster from the 10th Senate. The special advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Eseme Iyabo, in statement recalls that Senator Abo was sacked by the Court of Appeal and that he, Senator Abo, accepted the judgment. On claims by Senator Abo that he was denied official benefits following his ouster, the statement explains that the Senate President only approves payments that have been duly vetted by appropriate administrative units in line with procedure. The statement says it was unfortunate that Senator Abo has now resorted to media theatrics and finger-pointing instead of accepting his legal and political rivals. And stakeholders on the platform of the North Central Renaissance Movement have appealed to Nigeria political class to consider the interests of the zone in all future elections, especially in the forthcoming dispensation in the spirit of equity, justice and fairness. The stakeholders from the North Central Geopolitical Zone extraction said the zone has not enjoyed national political patronage in occupying top offices in the land apart from party leadership, which sometimes end up in controversy. The group further appealed to all political parties to rally round the zone and consider it fit to contest, and as it is the only one left out of the nation's political equation.
An advocacy for the zone, and there is no better time than the current political dispensation to terminate this unwholesome trajectory. We do this by proving that we have the same aspirational liberties as any of our fellow citizens from any part of Nigeria. The NCRM has a simple demand to make in this regard. We implore our leaders to aim higher 2027 and the demands of equity, fairness, and justice.
The movement also pledged to keep the awareness on until the desires of the North Central is met through intellectual activism, consultations, and dialogue. Now, let's go to Lagos State, where our correspondent Larry Bele is standing by to give us an update on the Independence Bridge repairs and the ensuring traffic gridlock there. Now, Larry, how is the traffic tonight around the affected areas since the reopening of a segment of the bridge? How substantially has that helped in easing traffic flow around that axis and surrounding areas by motorists and also alternative routes?
To answer that question, the traffic has eased up a little bit, and there's movement at the other side where work has not started. There's movement, and it has eased up a little bit, although there's still a little bit, but you can't compare it to yesterday. But the latest thing, let me move away from the camera a little bit. The latest thing is that there will be work going on 24 hours on the bridge so that to expedite action on the rehabilitation work going on this bridge. And that, I believe that will be in shift as the crew members, you can see the crew members there on the bridge working. And that is what they are doing right now. You could recall that the minister said the bridge should be reopened, and they discovered that rehabilitation work has really advanced on the bridge, and they couldn't open this part of the bridge where work have started. So they decided to do a 24-hour round-the-clock work on the bridge so that the rehabilitation work can come up quickly. So the other side where work has not started, they've reopened it for commuters and motorists to work, to pass through. And this has eased up the traffic somewhat.
You know how Lagos is and, you know, the traffic there. But does it seem to you like those affected understand the repair of this bridge, that it is absolutely necessary and that holds the promise of something good after the hassles they must have gone through? And earlier today, our own Joel Popoala did, you know, monitor the situation around that axis. Can you confirm that a lot has indeed changed since then and that the days leading to the promised reopening on Monday are likely to be better?
Let's start with the governor. The governor was here earlier appealing to Lagosians that this is absolutely necessary. And if you look at the bridge, there's a big ditch right there. And Lagosians are saying that, well, since it is necessary, we have to bear with the government, like the Lagos state governor said. And the minister was here earlier to appeal to the people that this bridge is necessary. Rehabilitation work is necessary. The fact is that there's been announcement about the rehabilitation of this bridge from time to time, but you know the Nigerian factor that we react to things a little bit late. That is what caused yesterday's gridlock. Everybody woke up and tried to pass the normal route, and they discovered that everything is blocked. And everybody decided to pass the alternative route at the same time, and that's what caused the gridlock. But I think Lagosians are now understanding what is at stake. They are now telling each other that, look, this bridge has to be repaired.
Indeed, Popola, you know, I believe that Lagosians will really enjoy the bridge moving forward.
This bridge earlier this afternoon, and this is the report he gave out.
Way to Marina and other axes is very instrumental to each free vehicular movement inward and outward Lagos Island. The minister has visited the bridge to assess the level of work done so far and has given a date for reopening of the bridge, assuring that the contractor will work round the clock to meet the deadline.
So what we are doing now is to restore the bridge temporarily within the next 3 days. By Sunday, this place will be totally open. And then after 2 weeks, we will look at the settlement. And then we will take out 3 days to put the permanent structure. That is what we're going to do. We are going to vary the design. The design will be varied according to the emergency situation we found on ground. And the contractor is going to cooperate with us. I'm not going until the bridge is fully restored by Monday.
Some Lagosians share their frustration.
The timing is not the best, and probably they should have taken advantage of the holiday.
We saw ambulances yesterday trapped in the traffic, and who knows what was happening. They're supposed to be an open out. Maybe they should allow the other side be a two-way drive so that people don't have to use only Adeola or Deku to link to Falomo Bridge.
So when I was coming back from Lekki yesterday, it was a bitter experience.
Offices have been urged to explore the option of their staff working from home. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
So that was Joel Kukwola earlier today. Talking about the situation. But I think as time goes on, Jummai, the traffic will ease a little since the other side of the bridge has been opened. And by tomorrow, things will ease out. Jummai, is back to you.
So much, Larry. I hope the tensions will come down now and people will begin to appreciate what government is doing for them. Thank you so much. We'll take a break. When we return, more reports. Do stay. You're welcome back. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has struck out a lawsuit challenging the construction of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. The presiding judge, Justice Akintayo Oluko, gave the order in the suit filed by members of the Okun Aja community and property owners in Eti Osa local government area. The court struck out the matter due to lack of jurisdiction. The plaintiffs sought to block the project and secure damages for the alleged land infringement. The defendants in the case, including Minister of Works Dave Umahi, High Tech Construction Limited and other government agencies, opposed the lawsuit, stating that the Federal High Court was not the appropriate court as it lacked jurisdiction over the matter. They argued that the matter should be heard in the High Court of Lagos State as it involved state-owned land. Justice Aluko agreed with the defendants, stating that the Federal High Court lacked jurisdiction over the case. He cited Section 22, subsection 2 of the Federal High Court Act, which allows for transferring of cases to the appropriate state court. The lawsuit was therefore remitted to the High Court of Lagos for further hearing. And beyond the preventive measures against corruption, The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, says it would not hesitate to prosecute any local government chairman who diverts public fund meant for developmental projects. This is coming from Chairman of the Commission, Musa Adamu Aliu, at the unveiling of Accountability and Corruption Preventive Program for Local Governments, a strategic initiative aimed at addressing corruption, financial mismanagement and government deficiencies across the 774 local governments. The chairman also believed that the commission is committed to ensuring the success of the Supreme Court judgment, which affirms financial autonomy to local governments by enforcing compliance with anti-corruption laws and fostering a culture of transparency, accountability and efficiency.
Its investigative, prosecutorial and regulatory function to ensure compliance. These include legislative enforcement, periodic audits, oversight mechanisms to identify and rectify non-compliance.
Autonomy alone is not enough. We must ensure that the resources allocated to local governments are prudently and transparently used.
We have a stake to make the local government system work because they have the capacity to impact arguably the highest number of people in the country.
The federal government remains resolute in its commitment to promote transparency, accountability, and good governance.
We already have a mechanism in place to track all the funds that we disburse to the local governments and then supporting the ICPC on their investigations.
Now, the World Bank has approved 3 operations in Nigeria, totaling $1.08 billion in concessional financing to enhance education quality, build household and community resilience, as well as improve nutrition for underserved groups. This includes $500 million in additional financing for the Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus, NGCARES program. $80 million for accelerating nutrition results in Nigeria and RIN 2.0, and $500 million for Hope for Quality Basic Education for All, Hope Edu. Statement by the bank says the NGCARES program will support the government in expanding access to livelihood support, food security services, and grants for poor and vulnerable households and communities. The Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, estimates that Nigeria has lost more than $33 billion to corruption, a major drain on Nigeria's economy. In response, the association is pushing for stronger institutional frameworks and coherent policies to tackle the menace. Muplak Dakok has details of its deliberations at the 4th Anti-Corruption Summit taking place in Abuja.
Corruption is the single greatest obstacle preventing Nigeria from achieving its enormous potential. It drains the billions of dollars every year from the country's economy.
The Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, ranks corruption as the 4th biggest challenge facing Nigeria after insecurity and poverty. Interrogating the role of public financial management and the accountant in anti-corruption management, the summit focuses on equipping accountants and financial managers with tools to curb corruption, protect the naira, and reduce capital flight.
Not even corruption can stop Nigeria. Nigeria as a nation is bigger than corruption. We believe that with more attitude governance, such as we are seeing under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and with the gradual but serious expansion of the role of technology, including the artificial intelligence and machine learning earlier mentioned, the story will change from ruminating around corruption and suboptimal public financial management to a happier outcome.
Our goal is to create a society where corruption will not be tolerated. This requires a collective commitment from all stakeholders.
Key presentations emphasize the need to strengthen anti-corruption institutions, enhance financial oversight, and improve accountability in the public sector.
You need to make sure that your anti-corruption activities and efforts are economical. And one of those ways is to introduce the issue of plea bargaining.
Among resolutions from the summit is a proposed plea bargain bill to be presented to the National Assembly with the intent of enhancing judicial efficiency and strengthening the country's anti-corruption framework. In Abuja, Muplang Dakok. NTA News.
As promised, rural dwellers in the 9 states of the Niger Delta are set to benefit from interventions in the health and education sectors, birthed by a collaboration between Renewed Hope Initiative and Niger Delta Development Commission. Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, set the ball rolling in Otuasega, Bayelsa State, with the flag off of free medical outreach and launch of a health insurance scheme for vulnerable people in the region. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo tells us more.
With much excitement and joy, residents of Otuasega in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State trooped out to receive the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, to their community, all set to inaugurate key projects undertaken by the Niger Delta Development Commission in collaboration with the Renewed Hope Initiative. First is the flag-off of a free medical outreach by the Commission, which saw the donation of 11 ambulances and personal protective gears to selected hospitals in the region, inauguration of Cottage Hospital, Community Secondary School Otuasega, and distribution of textbooks, school benches and desks.
Transfer. Today, the medical outreach program, which I was told is conducted quarterly, aimed to deliver essential health services directly to the community. It will address common health issues, provide preventive care, and raise awareness about health concerns that disproportionately affect rural residents, particularly in the area of maternal and child health. This contribution will significantly aid in saving lives and ensure that the various communities receive prompt medical attention when needed.
Then follows the launch of a health insurance scheme for rural dwellers in the zone.
To the good people of Bayelsa State and the entire Niger Delta region, this is your program. I encourage you to take full advantage of the various interventions, safeguard them, and continue to support efforts that will enhance development in your communities.
We cannot play politics with the development of our region. If we all love our region, if we all love our states, then we have no alternative but to partner and collaborate. And for today, we have a daughter of the region who is in the villa. And so what better opportunities do we have more than this?
I wish to call on the governors of the Niger Delta region to collaborate with NDDC and other regional development commissions that we should be in place.
With the 25th anniversary of the commission around the corner, the strings of intervention is timely and a fitting fruit of its collaboration.
Hence, our series of commission in this period and also all our programs are embedded under the dividends of Renewed Hope Initiative.
Earlier, at a meeting with Bayelsa State Traditional Rulers Council, the First Lady harped on the need for leaders to always put the people first and solicited the support of traditional rulers for RHI advocacy in health. From Yenagua in Bayelsa State, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
I'll take a breather now. I hand you over to Hingino John Adams for more on Network News. I'll be right back after that. Don't go away.
Thank you, Jummai. Opening up of all regions in the country through infrastructural development to boost economic activities and increase internally generated revenue is part of the Renewed Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which the Nigerian Railway Corporation is fully ready to key into. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NRC, Kayode Opeifa, stated this during a tour of the corporation's facilities in Lagos by members of Southeast Development Commission. Bolaji Akim completes the story.
I want to be like that. Members of the Southeast Development Commission been taking around operational areas of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, NRC, by the Managing Director, Kayode Okpaifa, from the NRC running shed to Ibutimeta train station, Nigeria Railway Training School, and other critical areas.
That's why we extended.
Briefing newsmen after the tour, Okpaifa explained that the corporation is deploying assets to the region so as to boost the movement of goods and services. The MD added that Western Narrow Gauge Line will soon be activated and urged Southeast Development Commission to take advantage of various opportunities provided by NRC.
The Southeast Development Commission is ready, and they have chosen rail as a priority area. For among their 5 focal priority points, they've taken mobility, transportation of development of critical infrastructure, which rail and transport sector takes priority.
Managing Director of Southeast Development Commission, Mark Okoye, said the visit is to seek collaboration with NRC and look for possible areas of working together for the best interest of the region.
We've done extensive consultation with our critical stakeholders, the National Assembly, the Senate, House of Reps, the governors in the region, the organized private sector, and now we are now doing select federal government agencies. Why is rail critical? Rail is not only critical from an economic transformation standpoint, but also we've done opinion polls on the region, and the people of the region, 48% of them are saying, if there's one project you can give us rail.
The minister also used the opportunity to warn vendors to stay away from the corporation's property. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
That's it from Lagos. Network News continues after this break.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes.
Welcome back. The National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for providing the enabling environment for the military and security agencies to thrive. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the NSA gave the commendation while receiving 19 rescued victims, including the former Director General of the NYSC, Maharazu Tsiga.
I cannot climb this step. It is all the salt and the beating and the rest of them that they gave us.
72-year-old former DG NYSC narrating his ordeal in the hands of kidnappers who held him hostage alongside these 18 victims. The retired military general who was abducted from his home in Thiga, Bakuri local government area in Katsina State 56 days ago commended the security operatives for their efforts.
We should all know that security is a collective responsibility. We should not sit down and believe that the government can do it alone.
These 18 other rescued, including a former ambassador, were abducted from different parts of Kaduna State.
On behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are grateful to our armed forces, we are grateful to the security services for the work you are doing. We'll go after the bad ones. This is not the end of the story. These people are rescued, but those perpetrators will pay for it dearly.
I want to especially thank the NSA for providing that platform for all the members of the armed forces and other security agencies to work properly in synergy. And this comes especially from the mandate of Mr. President, who has provided the needed resources to all those who don't mean us well, that will not allow them sleep well.
The Chief of Defense Staff enjoined Nigerians to cooperate with security agencies by providing intelligence report. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, more than 44 kidnapped victims were rescued in different parts of the country in the last 7 days by troops of the Nigerian Armed Forces. The Director General Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kanye, announced this at the Defense Headquarters, Abuja, during the bi-weekly news conference on ongoing military operations in various theaters of operations. Within the period under review, several terrorist and bandit kingpins were either arrested or eliminated in different combat operations.
During the quarter, many terrorist commanders such as Abba Alai, also known as Amir Khalid of Allaha, Abdullah, always known as Honu, Jagaban and Danger, amongst others, were neutralized, while Abdullah Ali was captured alive with severe gun wounds. This effort by our gallant troops created gaps in the command and leadership structure of the Boko Haram terrorists as well as ISWAP and JAS terrorists. There were also infighting for supremacy within the ranks of the various terrorist factions, which sparked cracks in their leadership hierarchy. Hence, they observed confusion in their various camps. Our gallant troops exploited the situation and dealt decisively with them on various fronts.
Similarly, 128 dug-out pits, 192 boats, 138 storage tanks and 122 illegal refining sites were discovered and destroyed by troops of Operation Delta Save. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has reopened the Bridgehead Drug Market in Onitsha following a month-long closure for sanitization and regulatory enforcement. The market, including Ogbo, Ogu, and 3 adjoining markets, was shut down to address lapses in medicine distribution practices. In a statement signed by the Director General, Professor Mojisola Adeye, to prevent a recurrence of the issues that led to the closure, the agency implemented strict administrative conditions for reopening shop. Owners were required to complete documentation and clearance procedures before their shops could be unsealed. Professor Mojisola Adeye emphasizes that the market has now been reopened, with all shop owners directed through their union to obtain and sign an undertaking, along with a penalty for past violations of distribution regulations. She says the agency remains committed to ensuring that all drug distribution channels comply with safety and regulatory standards while appreciating the cooperation of the market leadership and the Anambra State government in facilitating this critical intervention. Time now to bring in Benny Adams for business news. Benny, what's happening in the world of business?
So much more in the world of business. Now, amid the global tariff war, where the United States of America has just slammed a 14% tariff on Nigeria at a time ECOWAS is trying to come to terms with the 0.5% tariff by the Alliance of Sahel States, stakeholders say it's time to look inwards by leveraging on technology and the country's population for sufficiency to counter the trade tariffs.
To me, it's to provide opportunity to African markets. Like here now, companies that ought to thrive in the US now, if they have Nigeria now, they can have a good place now to come and invest their business here and do their business. And we have the market. You come and do the project. We have the raw materials and we have the market because of the population. So it's an opportunity for all of us.
Grow what you eat, wear what you make, drive what you produce. Okay, so anything that is not Nigerian.
So our laws now, CAMA now, has reduced the share capital of the businesses from the 1 million to even 100,000 as an MSME's intervention, so that you can do your own businesses, so that you can have opportunities to attract loan. So no need of going to the extent of getting to the highest or higher number in the share capital. Just 100,000, you can have your own company. It's an MSME's intervention. These are our game-changing projects that we are launching to ensure that we facilitate Mr. President's determination to realize $1 trillion economy.
Now from tariffs to the stock market, where Nigerian equities recorded marginal gain on Thursday, recouping a fraction of the losses posted in the previous session, as investors demand Transcohort, NGX Group, Fitson, Fidelity Bank, and 15 others. The all-share index increased 1 basis point to close at 105,525.26 basis points, while investors lost 10.90 billion naira, with market capitalization dropping to 66.16 trillion naira. South Africa is down by 0.92%. It closed at 81,814.94 basis points, while the Tunisia Tune Index is up in the green zone marginally by 0.11%. It closed at 10,900 and 6.71 basis point. That is it from the market. I'll move to the central bank, where the Central Bank of Nigeria has firmly denied issuing a circular announcing the introduction of 5,000 and 10,000 banknotes, dismissing the claim as false. The purported circular, which spread widely on WhatsApp, was debunked by the Apex Bank in a statement released via its official handle on X, formerly Twitter. The fake document, falsely attributed to the CBN, claimed the Central Bank of Nigeria has officially announced the introduction of two new denominations, 5,000 and 10,000 banknotes, as part of ongoing efforts to streamline cash transactions and improve liquidity management. Well, this is it on business. News continues, but after this break, to stay with us.
Thank you, Benny.
But why? No, see, say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big bull holographic seal. Not true.
Introducing the...
You're watching NTA Network News. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced sweeping global tariffs that analysts say is threatening to ignite an unprecedented trade war. The U.S. president held up a chart in the White House Rose Garden outlining what he said were the reciprocal tariffs each country would face. Comfort Fashion will run us through the effects of tariffs on global economy.
Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia. Oh, look at Cambodia, 97%. We're going to bring it down to 49%. They made a fortune with the United States of America. United Kingdom, 10%, and we'll go 10%. So we'll do the same thing. South Africa, 60%, 30%. And
Donald Trump's tariffs announcement is generating so much reactions from countries affected. And experts on Global Economic Watch say this could trigger a boomerang effect or consequences. Nigeria is one among many African countries affected by the tariffs announced by United States President Donald Trump on Wednesday. And goods from Nigeria will now attract a 14% tariff.
America was the big elephant in the room when they were able to create the control of the dollar or the dollarization of the global economy. And it's important to do this, or we know this. So if we also now begin to now strengthen our naira to the point that what we are bringing to the markets becomes what everybody wants, we can also begin to talk as stuff America is talking.
From the EU, the tariffs were described as a major blow to the world economy, while China vowed retaliation, and Australia said it is not the act of a friend. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer reiterated that economic impact imposed by the tariffs is inevitable.
Let's be clear-eyed about the immense consequences. The global economy will massively suffer. Uncertainty will spiral and trigger the rise of further protectionism.
Imposition of tariffs has been a major policy of President Donald Trump since he assumed office a few months ago. He has the belief that tariffs can boost the U.S. economy, while global reaction indicates that this may be true, but it could have adverse ripple effects on not only the American economy, but the world economy. Comfort, Fashion, NTA News.
Thank you, Comfort. And in sports, top women's volleyball clubs have begun battle for the top prize at the 2025 Africa Women's Volleyball Club Championship in Abuja after it was declared open by First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu. While charging participants to compete clean, the First Lady also challenged them to take advantage of the championship to make their mark in the sport. Francisca Belle has details.
The indoor sport hall of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium has come alive with the 2025 African Women's Volleyball Club Championship taking center stage. The event, which will see 16 teams compete for honors, was officially declared open by Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who is the grand patron of the championship.
I warmly invite you to explore our beautiful capital city of Abuja and experience the rich cultural heritage and renowned hospitality that Nigeria has to offer. From our vibrant markets to our historical landmarks, diverse food cuisines, and colorful traditions Nigeria eagerly awaits your discovery. At this juncture, I officially declare the 2025 African Women's Volleyball Championship Tournament open.
We are indeed glad that we have with us a distinguished African woman providing inspiration for young women to break barriers while chasing their dreams. In Her Excellency, Distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu.
To the athletes, I encourage you to compete with passion, integrity, and respect for one another. Let this tournament be a celebration of excellence and the unbreakable bonds that sports create.
Host Nigerian Customs Service and Chief of Naval Staff Strikers are representatives of Nigeria in this year's tournament. The official opening game saw the Customs Navy.
And just before we go, let's go to our survey. We asked you tonight in our survey, should voting in Nigeria be voluntary, obligatory, or compulsory? Well, here's what you said. 58.7% backed an obligatory civic duty, urging moral, not legal responsibility. 27.7% chose a voluntary choice, prioritizing personal freedom, while 20% voted for compulsory by law, calling for stricter civic accountability. In spite of this result, the poll still reveals a nation split between demanding enforcement and protecting choice. I reckon that supporters of compulsory voting argue it will most likely boost participation, while critics warn of overreach. One of overreach. Thank you so much for your time on NTA Network News tonight. I am Jummai Yusuf. Good night.